Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason and welcome to a very special edition of DeepSeededGeek. So it's the end of another year and I'm about to jump on the bandwagon with so many other people where we look back on the year in our lives and we judge what was the best, what was the worst, and what we could have done differently. And where some people find themselves under the microscope when asking all these questions, I feel confident in my overall awesomeness that I'm going to shift the gaze from myself onto a much broader topic that we can all discuss. So here are my ups and downs and roundabouts about all the video games that came out in the year 2012. So to start with, I want to pay a little bit of respect to the games throughout the year that I have no opinion on because I simply just didn't get around to playing them. I went out of my way to buy them all, most of them on day one, but for some reason, I just never sat down and pushed the start button on any of these games. And that saddens me, because I'm sure that all the games that I'm going to talk about right now would have ended up on my Game of the Year list. So, without further hesitation, here are the games. First up, Deadlight. Because like my friend Corey says, I'm gay for anything zombie. And this game had a look and feel about it that made it stand out from the rest of the crowd in the video game world of zombies. Next on the list, Dear Esther. Now I know this game is very short and sweet and I probably could have gotten through it in like just one sitting, but like so many of my favorite films, you really have to be in the mood to play a game like this. Next up is a game that breaks my heart that I never got around to playing, Fez. Now I think the only reason why I didn't get around to this particular game is because it was Xbox exclusive. And this year was the year that I made the switch over to PC gaming for majority of my games. I mean, it's great when a game can get an exclusive kind of deal with a company. That means they get like a lot of benefits that way. But it kind of sucks because there's a broader game hemisphere that you could be getting your game out to and you're just not because you're tied to one company. So, make no mistake, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna get into Gomez and his world of 2D, 3D kind of, just check out the video behind me, it looks awesome. Next on the list, I have no excuse for why I didn't play this, Mark of the Ninja. Ninjas? Awesome. Stealth gameplay? Awesomer. Fun and challenging gameplay, art style to die for, completely badass, and a hit with critics and gamers alike. Yeah, why the hell haven't I played this game? Cut, I'm going to play it. Next on the list is the Hong Kong action game, Sleeping Dogs. This game just bleeds cool. It's got like a whole feel of like the old school John Woo movies, you know? And it's got a game style to it that has like a Grand Theft Auto kind of storyline melded with like the action kind of mechanics of Batman games. Throw on top of that some of my favorite podcasters out there, like the boys at Epic Battle Axe, they rave about this game all the time. And every day that I don't play it just takes away my gamer cred, so I gotta get on this game real soon. Second to last, Xenoblade Chronicles. This is a game that reminds you why all those Final Fantasy games from back in the day were so good, and shows you just how far Final Fantasy has strayed from that awesomeness that they used to be. So first off, thank you Xenoblade Chronicles for doing that and bringing us back to the awesomeness that was. The only problem is that you're only on the Wii. But make no mistake, I'll make some time, I'll make the effort, and I will be spending a buttload of hours playing that game. The last on the list, Borderlands 2. And the sad fact is, the only reason I'm not playing Borderlands 2 is because I haven't played Borderlands 1. This should show you just how far my gamer cred has gone down this year. Alright, now that I've groveled at the feet of some mighty heavyweight games that came out this year that I never got around to, it's time to point my pointy little pointer at the games that did not live up to expectations. So without further ado, here are my least favorite games of 2012. Starting from the bottom, working to the top, we're gonna go with Diablo 3. Ooh, that's right, I said it! Now every PC gamer in 2012 pretty much bought this game, and after they shook out all the bugs out of the system and everything like that, they came to love it. Except for me. I don't have a specific problem with the game per se, it just wasn't my bag. All you do is just click, click, click all over the place, collect loot, rinse, repeat, do it again. There's not much to it other than that. Now granted, I only played about the first 4 hours of the game, so maybe it gets really intense and up there like when you get into the later levels, but you know what, at the time, there were some other games that I really wanted to get my hands on instead, so Diablo 3, yeah, didn't keep my attention. Next on the list of Suckaroo is Dishonored. And now most of you have stopped playing this video and unsubscribed to my channel. This game sounded very promising, and it still might be. I mean, it had stealth mechanics, which I love, it had multiple ways to go about doing any kind of mission, which is cool, and it had a lot of comparisons to the art style and mechanics of Bioshock, one of my favorite games of all time. But the first couple of hours of the game just did not grab my attention, and that's essential for a game. I mean, if you can't pull somebody in the first 2 hours, why are they going to sacrifice another additional 28 to 30 hours in this particular game? And, like most years, when this game came out, it was like a plethora of good games at the time. So I just thought, nah, I'll move on to something else and see if it grabs my attention. So hopefully, come the new year, I will get back on Dishonored, and maybe I'll come back and do a follow-up video saying, oh my god, I was so wrong about this game. But it might not be for a while. Now for the second worst game of 2012. Max Payne 3. Now I know a lot of people love this franchise, and they love Max Payne as an anti-hero. But when I'm supposed to play as a drug-infused alcoholic going from one suicide mission to another, shooting pretty much anything and everything does pop out in front of you, all while having like these jarringly trippy like text bubbles doing random quotes from the character just flashing at you, causing you to have like seizures. How is that supposed to be appealing to me? And now, the #1 piece of all-time crap from 2012, Resident Evil 6. Now to be fair, I love Resident Evil games. 1, 2, 3, 4, awesome. 5, meh. But now 6 comes along, and it had this promise of being something new, fresh, and just all around goodness. But up to Resident Evil 6, I had played all the other games I just mentioned. So I was having a hit and miss kind of year with video games, which is very new to me. So when I hear mixed reviews from critics, really bad reviews from players, and I have Resident Evil 6 in my hands, dude, I didn't even crack it, okay? I sent it right back and bought a different game. So Resident Evil 6, you are so bad, I didn't even want to play you. And now we came to the reason why you're watching this video in the first place. The best games of 2012, in my opinion. Starting from the bottom, working to the top, we have Slender, the 8 Pages. I'll keep this short and sweet. This game scared the holy hell out of me. This game scared the holy hell out of my sister. If you don't believe me, there's a video in here where we play it together, and we scare the bejesus out of ourselves, left, right, and center. It's awesome. It's also free, so you should go and play it now. Next on the list, Halo 4. Yes, that's right. I, Jason, love a Halo game. Wonders never cease. Now, to be fair, I have played through Halo 1, 2, and 3 before Halo 4. And I gotta tell you, I don't know why this game series is so popular. It just doesn't grab me. But then along comes my nephew and he says he is so psyched to play Halo 4. And I thought, well, you know, if I buy the game, he gets the game, we play it, and we can kind of discuss the game together, you know, that's not such a bad thing. So I caved and I dropped down 60 bucks and I bought the game for us to play, and I am so glad I did because it is awesome. For once, a Halo game has a story that I actually care about, and voice acting that is like on par with some of the best games out there. And oh my god, the best graphics of 2012. It looks beautiful. Throw on top of that, you got like controls that work super smooth, and the AI, the enemies that you fight against, are not as annoying as previous versions. That's a bonus. Now, I'm a believer, and I can't wait for Halo 5. Next on the list, DayZ. Now, throughout the end of the year, I have been watching countless videos about people doing gameplay sessions through DayZ, which is a mod for a game called Arma 2. The mod is free. The game is on sale all the time at Steam, so go check it out. But I was salivating at the thought of playing this game, and I wanted to get in on the fun right now. But with word of a standalone edition of this game coming out, so you wouldn't need to buy Arma 2 or download a mod, you could just have it as its own single thing, I held off as long as I could. But then I caved, and I played only about 2 hours of the game. And it is by far one of the best gaming experiences I have had, hands down. It's the zombie apocalypse, and it's a big multiplayer thing on a 225 square kilometer map of like desecrated Russia or USSR? Russia? USSR? What are they called now? Soviet Union? I don't know, whatever. Sorry. I am a gamer. I am not good with geography and history or anything outside of gaming. I pretty much suck otherwise. What was I talking about? Next up, Hitman Absolution. Hitman is by no means a perfect game. In a typical video game, the CG cutscenes are supposed to look better than the actual gameplay. Not so much in Hitman. It's actually the other way around in Hitman. The graphics engine that they use to produce most of the game looks breathtaking. I mean, the crowd scenes alone are huge. The AI controls are just super intuitive. But then you go to a cutscene, and the character models look so bad. And the voice work, and the story. What is the story anyway? I don't really get that. But the gameplay, oh my god! The combination between assassinations, stealth gameplay, and multiple player choice of how you want to go about doing all these missions, this game is my virtual drug of choice. The next game on my list is a game that completely surprised me, and I'm doubly surprised that it is so high on my list of best games of 2012. The game is XCOM Enemy Unknown. I have never played a strategy game before. I don't know, there's something about the look of it, that bird's eye kind of angle that they always look at the games, just doesn't sit right with me. Add to that, I'm not the greatest tactician in the world. If I was ever in a war, I'd probably be the cause of our side to lose. But I am huge on the customization of RPG games. Add to that, I've been playing a lot of Pandemic this year, and that game is awesome. So this game just kind of came around at the right time for me. Now I could go on and on about the ins and outs of how this game actually works, and how the whole RPG building your resources and everything like that, and the actual on-the-ground fighting mechanics are just two amazing kind of things on their own. But the main thing that really got me in this game was the way you can customize your characters. You can give them a certain look, and a certain outfit, and a certain weapon loadout, and all that kind of fun stuff. But it's boiled down to when you actually start naming your characters that you actually give a shit if these people live or die. And because I went out of my way and named my entire squad after the cast and characters of Firefly, anytime I go into battle and Kaylee is shot down, I'm brokenhearted. And I actually go back and restart the game because goddammit, I'm not losing Kaylee! Now we're getting down to the top. Number 3 on my Games of the Year list, Journey. Now this is one game I don't think I have the words to properly put into perspective how deeply this game resonates with the player. You know what? It's only 2 hours long, it's $15. Go on your PlayStation, pick it up, play through it. You'll do it in like one sitting, and trust me when I say you will have a game experience like none other that you will be talking about for weeks on end, and that's just the single player version of it. When you go back and play a co-op mode of it, it's a whole nother ball game. Add to that, it's got a beautiful look to it, and a soundtrack that is actually up for a Grammy nomination. The first time a video game soundtrack has gone up against all other soundtracks in a year for a Grammy nomination is this year's Journey. Number 2 on the list is Mass Effect 3. Now when I bought this game, point in fact, this game series was the reason I bought an Xbox 360. I played through Mass Effect 1, 2, and now 3 is on the way. This particular game started the whole thing, the whole craze where your game save from the first one will carry over into the second one, and the second will carry over into the third. So there are things that tie all 3 games together in your player choices. Now, like I said, I was very excited to play this game when I bought it, but I hesitated because like any of your favorite TV shows, when they come to an end, you are so excited to find out how it all ends, but you don't want it to end because they've kind of become like your friends and you don't want to say goodbye to your friends. Did I just confess to thinking video game characters are my friends? People stirred a lot of controversy about the end of this game, that it didn't live up to the hype that was promised when they first came out with this series. I don't know, I'm like in the few that played the end of the game and I thought, I'm satisfied. You know, because it wasn't about the last half hour of the game and my final decision that, you know, makes or breaks an entire series. I mean, everything that had to come to a conclusion for me were the relationships I had with all the characters that I met in the game. And I was totally satisfied with the way that played out. How the very final end boss, so to speak, plays out, I couldn't care less. The rest of the game, it nailed it for me. So it's just my opinion, but I feel this was the perfect swan song for one of the best video game series ever created. So here we are, #1 game of 2012. This should come as no surprise to anyone who's been watching DeepSeededGeek. My #1 game of 2012 is The Walking Dead. When I play video games, I play them for the stories that only video games can weave. And this game took that element and elevated it to a whole new level for the industry. And the next generation of video games that come out are going to look back at The Walking Dead, and they're going to think, that's the high watermark we have to get above if we're going to succeed. And that's just going to make better games all around for us. But I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it again, because if you want to hear my honest opinion about all the little ins and outs of the game, you can go back and watch our Game of the Month edition of The Walking Dead. It's about, I think, almost 2 hours long, so you'll get a lot of information on the game. And with that, we come to the end of another episode of DeepSeededGeek. Thank you very much for watching and tuning in this year. If you like this content and you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button to be updated every Monday and Friday when I release new videos. You can like this video to show me that this is the content you want to see. You can share this video with all your friends and family. Leave a comment in the section below if you have some video games that I haven't talked about that you think I should be playing or other people should be playing as well. That's what the comment section is for. You can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter, and with that, we'll see you in 2013, people. Take her easy.